Welcome back to Chin Music. We're still in the aftermath of the trade-off and the Pollad news. We'll actually try to talk a little on-field baseball, as bad as it is right now. The future, it remains somewhat intriguing. We'll talk about whether we know anything about the new minority owners and where all of this could lead for this franchise. This is our baseball show at TalkNorth.com. Lineup today, former Twins All-Star Roy Smalley, baseball guru and columnist LaVelle Neal III from Minnesota Star-Tribune. I'm Jim Souhan from the Star-Tribune and TalkNorth.com.
Scott for Aquarius Home Services. Summer is flying by and will be over before we know it. Don't waste it on repairs. From flickering lights to not-so-hot water heaters, let Aquarius take care of your to-do list. With $98 off any electrical or plumbing repair, we're ready to rescue your summer from household headaches so you can enjoy a worry-free home. Aquarius, local, trusted, and earning the right to be recommended. Schedule today at AquariusHomeservices.com.
Hey, this is Randy Shaver. Along with Kevin Gorg, we host the show Fantasy Huddle on Talk North. Each week, we're going to break down the matchups for the NFL season and try to give you the best chance to win your fantasy football games each and every week. Join us for Fantasy Huddle on Talk North.
This is our baseball show at TalkNorth.com. If you like it, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. Check out TalkNorth.com. We have the best experts on pretty much everything, including Mark Rosen, Randy Shaver on high school football. We've also added a fantasy show, Randy Shaver and Kevin Gorg. That show is a blast. Don Mitchell, Russo on hockey, Krasinski on basketball. We got it all lined up. Check it out. We do appreciate it. Let's get to it, guys. My first big picture question here is this season has become an open tryout for the lineup and the bullpen of next season. Is there anybody catching your eye right now? Let's start with LaVelle.
Well, let's see here. Catching my eye. Well, I'm encouraged that Brooks Lee's hitting the ball more authority because I'm sitting here looking at Kalen Culpepper and his 870 OPS at AA, thinking that he's going to be in the majors in the year, going to be Major League ready in the year. And, you know, Brooks may not have a full hold on shortstop. So this past week when he's hit the first grand slam of the season by a Twins player, 2-run triple, impressive opposite field homer in Tuesday's game against Oakland. Maybe this is a sign that he's turning the corner. I don't know. As far as anybody else that really stands out to me, it's good to see Jeffers having success at the plate. Larnick's done a little bit. Once again, I wrote about this the other day. I just think that the competition is coming soon. Especially guys like Wallner and Larnick. I mean, how do you have 16 homers and 27 RBI? I think that's just very hard to achieve in Major League Baseball. I think those two guys are definitely on the hot seat. Larnick's got over 1,500 plate appearances and a 726 career OPS. And that's problematic at this stage of his career. So right now it's like the Oscar Martins of the world proving that they can, stick around. Because there's another wave coming, and it's Emmanuel Rodriguez, and that's Walker Jenkins. And that's, Alan Roden. Unfortunately, he got hurt, so we didn't get a chance to see a lot of him before he had the thumb injury. James Outman is up here now. He's got wheels. They're still trying to untap that power. There is some pop in that bat, but he looks like a guy who's like trying to remake his swing on the fly here. So as far as catching my eye, nothing really stands out. I'm kind of waiting for the cavalry to arrive over the next several months. And that's, and we don't know what type of offseason moves they're going to make to augment the roster, but we don't know what the hell the freaking plan is either. Coming off all this ownership upheaval and limited partners joining the group. So there's so many damn question marks. It's just, you just kind of sit back and watch games and just kind of let your mind wander about what could be.
How about you, Roy? Anybody catching your eye? You have any thoughts on? It feels like to me, other than the fact that Brooks Lee finally has kind of started slugging here in the last 2 weeks, I mean, they're just not a whole lot of great signs for this group of young players. Wallner's OPS is still good, but he's an uneven player. Larnick has not done much. If you look at it, just basically a league average OPS for a corner outfielder who doesn't do other things well. Royce is still searching for it. Jeffers has been okay, and they don't really have an alternative to him. Julian is still a mess. If you're going to sell off and start over, you'd like to have the young guys showing up a little more.
Well, it's really true. It's been an issue for me for a couple of years, Wallner and Larnach. I just have not seen, this is not a new phenomenon for me. As I watch those guys,
Yep.
I look at a lot of talent, and it's this next step just never quite happens. And so I think LaVelle is right. There's going to be some serious competition here, pretty soon. But it's the Brooks Lee question. I think I've been thinking about Brooks Lee since the last time we talked. I've been away from you guys here for a few weeks, but I remember back to the last show that we did that when I participated, and I said I really think that Brooks Lee has turned the corner, and then a new little power surge here, and that's it's kind of the next step. What I've been looking at for him is, this is his first full year in the big leagues, and he's got a chance to drive in 70 runs this year. At least 65, probably, maybe even 75. He gets really hot in September. He could drive in 70 runs, which I think for a middle infielder in his first full year as a switch hitter, I think that's damn fine progress. I really do. And so I think he's encouraging to me. If I were Brooks Lee and I finished with 70 RBIs in my first full year, I'd go home over the winter and I'd work really, really hard with a really happy attitude, because I think that's a nice first full year. And he's played around. It hasn't been, I'm hitting in, playing just one position, so I'm comfortable. He's playing different places, and I think he's had a nice year. The other, so we'll see about that. The other, I've only seen this young man once. I turned on the TV not long ago and saw a left-hander. What's his name? Cabrera, relief guy. Was that his name?
The lefty?
Left-hander reliever.
Yep.
It was yeah.
He's got some stuff.
I don't know what he's done at all other than that game. I really haven't paid that much attention to him. As LaVelle said, it's a bullpen tryout, and I kind of got lost in in the horde, but I did turn on to see him, and he had a really good breaking ball, and I thought, well, here we go, and he was throwing it a lot. The first hitter I saw, breaking ball, and I thought, oh, well, here we got another Funderburk who's just got a great, who's got a pretty good slider, and to the degree that he can control that, he might have a chance. And I go, okay, fine, another left-handed slider baller, and then all of a sudden he gets behind and comes back 3-1 with 97, strike two, 3-1, 3-2, 97, swing and a miss, and walked off the field. I go, well, okay then, maybe, so I was impressed with his arm. That's the one person that I've seen that I thought, well, let me see some more of this kid.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's where we are with this franchise right now. You're looking for anybody who has like a discernible, superior major league skill that might make a difference. And he has an arm. He's a lefty who throws hard. And given the state of the bullpen, LaVelle, how many certainties are there for next year's bullpen on this roster or in this organization?
On his current roster, being left-handed gives Genesis Cabrera a chance to stick. I'm still learning about people like Krisky and some of these other guys that Pearson Ole, who's throwing knuckleballs now. Jose Urina's been around, he's a 33-year-old right-hander. I think, and here's the thing, and Falvey has indicated this too, that he thought that going forward, if he gets some of the current, developing position players to take a step forward, he's got great starting pitching inventory right now, and that the bullpen should be the easiest of the three to put together. And I initially nodded and said, okay, that makes sense. And I started thinking about it, going, oh, wait a minute. The Los Angeles Dodgers have a $300 million payroll in a horse crap bullpen. It's not that easy for everyone, So, this is going to take some work. I think, the one guy I've been hyping for like the last 2 years, because I saw him throwing the backfield in Fort Myers, in front of a bunch of scouts who were acting like he was a Loch Ness monster, that there was like really no proof that he actually existed, but he did exist, is Connor Pralip, who just got promoted to AAA, St. Paul. He's a two-time Tommy John guy out of the University of Alabama. He hit 98 on the gun in his Saints debut, and he has a slider from hell. Not only do I think that he is a bullpen guy, I think he's a closer. He's got potential to be a closer. The Saints are using him as a starter right now. I mean, the Twins are using him as a starter right now, which I think is smart because it allows him to see as many batters as possible, so he's not pigeonholed into a relief hold just yet. But if you look at his body of work, he has not built up the endurance in order to go 5-6 innings or throw like 150 innings in a season. So I think this is similar to Joan Duran, where he never got to that point where he could just, build off of innings from year to year to become a starter. So I think his career path is going to be as a reliever. And I think he looms large. Maybe he gets a shot in September. Definitely expect him to be in the mix next year. The guy's the arm is live, man. And, scouts are telling me that slider he throws is plus. And I saw it in the backfield, and I was like, that thing is nasty as hell. So I think Pralip's going to be kind of like the fulcrum of how that bullpen, the future bullpen, flows for the Twins.
Interesting. I was talking to one of the best baseball minds I know. You both know him as well, but it was just kind of on off the record chat, so I won't use his name. And he said, a lot of the sell off the moves were logical. About of the 10 people they got rid of, you knew they're going to get rid of about 5 to 7 of them. The ones that surprised, and the person I was talking to said, listen, I figure they were going to get rid of either Duran or Jax. So basically 2 guys with closer quality stuff. I don't think Jax endeared himself to the organization much the way he handled himself this year. But, so it was kind of easy to trade Jax. He wasn't having a great year, and he was kind of a pain in the butt. Duran, I don't think anybody wanted to see them trade Duran. They did get good value for him, especially if Abel's a pitcher. And he's going to be might be up this weekend. So this person is saying, listen, I thought they'd trade either Jax or Duran, and I don't understand why they traded Varland. Because if you went into next year with Duran as your closer, Varland as your right-handed setup guy, maybe you're not that far off from putting together a professional bullpen. With trading all 3, that was what surprised this person, and that's what, to me, leaves them in something of a hole. What do you think, Roy?
Yeah, I agree with you. Varland was the big surprise for me. As I was kind of sifting through, the news just kept coming out, right? Okay, now Jax is gone and Duran's gone, and the other guys you figure were going to be traded, and then all of a sudden, they traded 10 guys. I go, wait a minute, I had lost track of who, and I looked it up, and Louis Varland was on the list. I go, wait, why?
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna trade those other 2, I get. Jackson, for the reasons that you said. Duran, they got a very young, but by all accounts, a good catcher that hits from the left side. I mean, that could be worth the Duran trade right there at some point in time. That's a potentially big deal. And then with Abel, I mean, I don't think anybody doubts that he's got big league stuff. So then now it's just a question of, okay, a lot of guys have big league stuff. Can he consistently get people out, right? So that trade doesn't bother me as much. Duran was going to be on a closer on a team that wasn't good and end up making a whole bunch of money at some point in time. And so that doesn't bother me. Jax doesn't bother me. I didn't understand Louis Varland because of all the other bullpen guys that are, either gone or not producing. I didn't get that.
Agreed. LaVelle, have you ever gotten more of an explanation on the Varland thing?
No, I didn't. I have not. And they got back, Roden, and they got back Kendrys Rojas, who I saw throw in St. Paul a couple weeks ago. The arm is live, and he has a very intriguing changeup. A left-hander that throws in the mid-90s with a changeup. I mean, Twins fans wouldn't be upset to see one of those types return to the target field. The Varley thing still throws me off. I never really got clarity on it. Like I said, I haven't been around the park much lately. There's some other stuff going on. And frankly, I think the Twins officials do not want to talk to the Star Tribune right now.
No, they are. No, we are on the persona non grata list at the moment.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will say this. All of these trades, anytime, every year, it doesn't matter who you trade, how many you trade, it's all about the bodies that you get in return, ultimately, whether they pan out or not. And there's never going to be a situation, not never, very seldom going to be a situation in this day and age where you trade a star and get a star and everybody's happy, where someone needs a closer and you need a Nelson Cruz type player and you trade that even up. I mean, that doesn't happen. So all of these deals are very much body quality, skill quality dependent, and the better the young players get, and the faster they get there, will determine ultimately the quality of the trade. So I think we're in agreement that the Twins had to do something relatively drastic. It went beyond relative to all the way to Mondo drastic, but we're not going to know now for a couple of years for sure.
Drastic. I've been looking for a new band name for my band. Mondo Drastic might be
Mondo Drastic. I like it. That was a band I played in when I was in high school.
I love it. Okay, back to this topic in a second. I do want to tell you, we do a segment later in the show called Booze and Blues. I'm going to tell you about no booze and no blues. I drink Giggly THC beverages, and they don't have alcohol in them, so I don't have the blues the next morning. It's just been a great thing for me to drink on a weeknight or a night where I know I need to be up and active early the next morning. Just not only no hangover, no lethargy, no lost sleep. At my age, when I have a good time drinking cocktails, I'm not only might I end up with a hangover, probably not going to sleep really well that night either. Us old guys get a little sensitive to that stuff. So Giggly's been great for me. It'll probably be great for you. Use the promo code GigglyNorth to get up to 50% off your first order. Go to giggly.com to make that order. You can also go to any Quick Trip in Minnesota. You can find them in other stores. It is also really easy just to have it delivered to your doorstep. I like the cocktails. My wife likes the teas. The seltzers are really good. They've just added a couple new flavors to the seltzers. They have also added gummies and candies and all kinds of other stuff that you might like. It's just a great way to take the edge off without any risk. Giggly.com. I also want to tell you about OnX Hunt. Have you ever driven past a piece of land and wondered who owns that? Or maybe you need to know exactly where a property line runs. That's where OnX Hunt comes in. And it's not just for hunters. There are folks using OnX for their jobs every day throughout the country, from farmers and ranchers mapping out their fields, wildland firefighters navigating rough terrain, to construction workers needing to know who owns what property. This app offers something for everyone. If you need the best land ownership maps, aerial imagery, and property boundaries in your pocket, OnX Hunt is the tool for the job. Try it free for 7 days. Download OnX Hunt in the app or Google Play Store, or visit onxmaps.com/hunt to get started. So I almost hate to bring this up because I'm tired of talking about it, but it's so important for the future of this franchise. Are we seeing any signs that Royce Lewis is moving in the right direction, Roy?
Well, again, it seems like it's a step forward and a step back, doesn't it? And he showed, and only because, I mean, the step forward makes us excited because of what we've seen from him in the past, right?
Yep.
If we had no prior a relationship with Royce Lewis, we had no idea. He just comes up from the minor leagues this year, and this is what he does. We would say, oh, there's going to be Culpepper and Keishel and a lot of guys that it might not be Royce Lewis. So we're the one step forward and one step back from Royce is totally predicated on what we've seen is possible from him. And at some point in time, we don't need to see 5 Grand Slam home runs in a year necessarily. But there, he even now when he seems to be kind of finding himself a little bit, we're not seeing the same guy at the plate. His swing's not the same, and his results certainly are not the same. So I mean, the jury's out. I don't know what to say. At least it's not step back, step back, step back. At least there are some steps forward, and we're just it's a gosh. I hope you have a good September, so you feel good about yourself and come in and become the old Royce Lewis, next year starting in spring training.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried because I'm watching him at the plate, and somehow he's expanded the strike zone and he's chasing stuff he can't handle. Most of it usually away or down and away. And he was spitting on those pitches before. And two, once he does make contact, it's not hard contact. So I don't know if he's not seeing the ball. I don't know if he's just getting fooled more than ever. I don't know if he was a guess hitter who's now just in a bad streak of blackjack at the blackjack table or something. But it's 2 years ago, he had a 548 slugging percentage. That's when he hit 309. It had everybody excited about the future. His slugging percentage this year is 361. And his OPS is 648. Those are alarming numbers to me. And I don't know if it's just that he needs to get into the offseason, clear his mind, and start building himself up from scratch, or hopefully he's 100% and he's not trying to play with something. But the drop-off is alarming. That makes you wonder if there's something going on behind the scenes with him that's affecting his production, because he does not look like the guy that the Twins thought they had 2 years ago when Rock was calling him his best option at cleanup hitter. I mean, he was the most charismatic guy in the clubhouse and looked like a type of person that you can build a team around.
Yep. So let me just tell you, let me add one thing about hitting mechanics, if I may,
please,
with Royce. So when he first came up, I was watching him and said, he's missing some fastballs, especially a little bit more up in the zone or in on him, because to me his swing has always looked it has just a little loop in it, just a little drag, and I don't want to say he's got a slow bat, but there's just a little bit of a lag of the big end. It seemed to me way back when, and then whenever he'd get in. He'd have some at bats where I go, man, he's just not going to catch up with that fastball. And then, you get the bases loaded, someone would throw him a 97 mile an hour high fastball, and he just tattoo it. And I go, well, I must be seeing the wrong thing, because it must not be the case. You couldn't catch up with that if you've got a slow bat. But so I don't think he's got a slow bat, but I do think that he's got this little drag, this little loop with the big end of the bat that has prevented him from being right on all fastballs. And I think that's gotten in his head. And even if it's subconsciously, which is also in his head. But what I mean about that is Trevor, you were talking about, I think it was Trevor Plouffe, who talked about he didn't have his timing. This is back 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. His timing wasn't good with it getting his front foot down, right? And I'm good with that. I bought into that. That could be the reason why the loop or the little slow drag occurs. But I'm not convinced that that's absolutely the case. Maybe it's still a problem, and that's the reason. But I've always thought that there was some little, and I'm repeating myself, and I'm sorry, but there's some little drag to the big end of his bat. And when that gets in your head, either consciously or subconsciously, when you're not thinking that you can catch up with a fastball, then the shit hits the fan and the batter's box. And so, as LaVelle says, he's chasing balls, and that when you're not feeling good about your ability to hit a fastball, you chase balls all over the place, because you're cheating to the fastball. You're in a hurry. You're anxious. When those things happen, you swing at pitches all over the place, and you miss a fastball or foul it back, and it just buries it in there in your brain more. Geez, I'm not catching up. And when he was going good, he was hitting fastballs, and if you and taking all those other pitches out of the zone, laying off sliders. And when someone hung him a slider in the middle of the plate, it was a home run, and 3 times a grand slam or whatever, 3 of the 5. I mean, that's just the way it was. But the reason it's not there now, I think, is because there's a little drag in his swing, and I think that's gotten to his whole psyche.
I love it when what I see is confirmed by what you think, because, when you break down the slow motion look at his swing, he doesn't have the pucket or even the Keishel from the ear to the back of the zone, quick diagonal that leads to the long through swing. It's drop the bat a little bit, drag it through the zone. And as you said, if you have a little extra length to your swing, timing becomes even more important, and identifying the pitches becomes even more important. And he doesn't seem to be able to handle that right now.
No, that's really that. It's a good observation by you, because that's exactly what's going on, and it's what I have seen for 3 years. But he's been able, in the past, he's been able to manage it, and he's just not managing it right now, and it's a hard thing to do. It really is.
Okay, we're beating this organization up right now, in part because we're worried about watching bad baseball for a long time, as we have done before with this franchise. Let's just go ahead and focus briefly on the strength before we get to our Booze and Blues segment. If the starting pitching is healthy next year, they are going to have a tremendous number of excellent arms. Now, a lot of these people are going to have to prove themselves in the big leagues, but if you have Pablo, Ryan, Ober, Zebby, assuming he pitches a little bit better than he has, then you have Festa, then you have Abel, then you have Bradley. Simeon was Richardson still somewhere in the mix. LaVelle, what do you think about that collection?
The collection of, can you repeat that, please?
Just the starting pitching. I mean, they have a chance to have a lot of great starting pitching arms in the majors and in the organization next year, even if, we still got to see some of these guys perform in the big leagues.
They've got 10 guys lined up now, and 8 of them have pitched in the majors before. The newcomers throw hard. Abel's got a good, strong fastball. Rojas hit 96 on the gun at the game I was at. Taj Bradley has a live arm. Bradley's issue is that he has been inconsistent. He can be fantastic at one point and just be a mess at another. So trying to smooth those situations out. But the Twins wanted those guys to go to the minors, just, to help with the transition to a new organization, to talk to them about what they've been trying to work on, and maybe give them some pointers on what they should be working on to help kind of straighten things out. There's a chance, we're taping this on a Friday, there's a chance they could pitch in the next week or so in the major leagues. So we may be able to get some information on them and get some tape on them here sooner than later. It's going to be interesting because, we were looking at Zebby Matthews, David Festa, Simeon was Richardson, young core, developing. But now you got some other guys in the mix. In the battle for a spot in the rotation next year is going to be pretty fierce, with Abel, with Rojas, with Bradley. Don't forget Andrew Morris, who got banged up at AAA. The Twins think very highly of him. So they got exciting options. And the other thing is, too, I'm pretty sure Derek Falvey's going to be fielding calls this offseason from teams wanting to know, well, you got 10 starters, man. Do you want to kind of spin off 1 or 2? You want a first baseman? You want a guy? You want a bopper or something? I'm sure those conversations are going to take place. But, someone told me that in order to come up with 3 really good starting pitching prospects, you need to start with 10 and be prepared for attrition. So Falvey now has that. The Twins now have that with this group of guys. And they all look pretty talented, and they're all close to the major leagues. So it's going to be fascinating to see how all this plays out.
Well, let's get to our Booze and Blues segment. First, I want to thank Minnesota Masonic Charities.
When people think of the Freemasons, they often think of secret handshakes and unusual hats, and of course, the pancake breakfast. Minnesota Masonic Charities would prefer that you think about the work that they do right here in our community. Places like the Masonic Cancer Center at the University of Minnesota, or the Masonic Children's Hospital and the Masonic Home in Bloomington. They are just a few examples of the important work that the Freemasons support here in Minnesota. As part of the largest fraternal organization in the world, Masons have consistently answered the call when it comes to charitable needs. We look forward to learning so much more about their many programs here in the weeks to come.
And here's Talk North star Michael Russo for Clamshell Beach Resorts.
Hey, have you been dreaming of a lake cabin lifestyle with boating, fishing, and family fun in northern Minnesota? Well, lately I've thought a lot about how cool it would be to have a getaway like so many Minnesotans. And if you're like me, you probably think that owning your own lakeside getaway is beyond your budget. Well, if you think lake cabin real estate prices keep going up, well, think again. This is Russo, and I'm here to tell you there is an affordable way to enjoy a cabin lifestyle and all that goes with it. And yes, I said affordable. I founded a Clamshell Beach Resort, which is located on the Whitefish chain of 14 lakes for you and your family to enjoy. Here's how. Clamshell has lake homes that offer deeded fractional ownership, and the keywords there are deeded and fractional. You own it. Imagine having 5 weeks a year to enjoy Clamshell with its beaches, pool, and lodge that's full of kids' activities. Is golf your game? There's a great golf course right across the road. Like winter sports? Well, you can go ice fishing, cross-country skiing, or snowmobiling right out the door at Clamshell. And there's no maintenance, no grass mowing, no snow removal. It's done all for you. And you can own a share of Clamshell Beach Resort at an affordable price. To learn more about ownership opportunities at Clamshell Beach Resort, go to cottagesonwhitefish.com or contact Pat Egan at 612-220-9819. That's cottagesonwhitefish.com or Pat Egan at 612-220-9819.
All right. I think I want to talk about an underappreciated band. We're going to go back to the most underrated bands in history. This is a little bit of a different kind of band. This is not really a hit-making band. It's a band that will play covers, but good Lord, the sounds you get. Roy, are you familiar with the Tedeschi Trucks Band?
Oh, I told you guys a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, about one of the best songs. It's my most played song probably in the last 2 years, 3 years, however long I've listened to this. It's a song called "Midnight in Harlem," and Tedeschi's voice is phenomenal. It's a beautiful, beautiful ballad kind of thing. And her voice is phenomenal. And then Derek Trucks finishes the second half of the song with the most beautiful guitar riffs. And I mean, I'm totally on board with you now. I'll let you talk about them now that I've jumped your shark here. I mean, I really like them. That song I will listen to once a day.
It's fantastic. Tedeschi, came up as a great singer-songwriter, excellent guitarist, but her blues voice is what really sets her apart.
Oh, man.
They front an incredible band, and Tedeschi, Derek Trucks, and Tedeschi are married, and they basically found a way to be an active live performing band. They can also raise their kids and have everybody travel together, and it's like a big family that includes an actual family. And Trucks is, he's one of the best slide players in the world, and you can find videos of him when he's 5 years old, when he was already one of the best slide players in the world.
Yeah, his daddy played bass for the Allman Brothers forever, and he grew up with that band. And if you ever want to hear a remake combo of Dwayne Allman and Dickie Best, you just listen to Derek Trucks play the blues, man. So good.
It's so good. LaVelle, you got anything to contribute to Booze and Blues this week?
Yeah, I'm going to throw out a band that kind of hit the mainstream in the 90s. Although it's a rather fascinating tale because they're really talented. They're popular on MTV. But they also felt like they had the black entertainment industry kind of turned their backs on them because they were playing quote unquote white people's music, but the sound was great. The guitarist was Vernon Reed, and he was incredibly gifted. And Corey Glover was the lead singer, and the group's name was called In Living Color. And they're known for Cult of Personality and some other jams, and put out several albums in the 90s that did rather well. And as recently as 2017, they were still trying to put together another album. So they're still, together in some form. But listen to them for the first, first time I heard Kodo Personality, I heard Vernon Reed on the guitar. I was like, that dude can play. And so I thought it was a really talented band that maybe has not gotten the acclaim that it probably deserves.
Good stuff. Appreciate it, guys. It was fun. Hopefully this team will, well, I can't say hopefully this team will win a few games. I mean, if you're really going to rebuild, you want as high a draft pick as possible. What they really want to do right now is lose games while having the guys who will matter for next year perform well. They're going to have to thread that needle. Good luck to them.
I just want to see Royce Lewis and Brooks Lee hit the rest of the way.
That's about as good. Yeah. That would salvage something of the season. If they get to the season and they know that Lee and Royce are part of the future infield, that would solve some problems.
Should Pablo pitch? Do we need to see him on the mound the rest of the year?
I mean, I'll let Roy wrap up the session with his answer. I would say you want the player feeling good and healthy and confident going to his offseason workouts. What do you think, Roy?
Yep.
Yeah, I that's the baseline for me, but I would leave that. I would have Pablo be a big part of that about that decision, right? I mean, he's a veteran. He's smart. He knows himself and his body. It's the easy answer for me is, we're going to shut you down. You work hard in the wintertime like you always do, and come back and we'll have a great year next year. If he said, I want to pitch, I can't just do nothing, from whenever it was he got hurt until next April. I can't do that. I want to, I mean, even if I go out and throw 60 pitches a game for, 4 more starts, then I'd have to listen to that. But, other than that, I agree. I mean, the baseline is, hey, what do we gain by you going out there? So.
All right, good stuff, guys. Enjoyed it. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks to everyone who listened to TalkNorth.com.